Hey, welcome back. Today's video is all about the auctions that are upcoming. So if you're interested in any of the auction items that I'll be selling, most notably PVMs or other CRT monitors, then you'll want to pay attention to this video. I've got some things I wrote down here, so I just want to go through them with you just so you can have a clearer understanding of how these auctions will work. So for example, this is the very first auction and it will at least have these two monitors in it. This 8-inch and this 14-inch. And the way the auction is going to work is later this week I'll have a short video on each one of these that will go through just some of the specifications on it, and then it will also state in there what the starting bid. The video should be under 2 minutes, and the way for you to place a bid would be to put in the comments of that video for the specific item. You need to put in their bid, and you can put in a $ and then your bid amount, okay? And then I'll go through periodically and highlight and pin the highest bid in the comments so everybody knows who has the highest bid. Now again, all bids are going to be in US dollars, so just take that into consideration. And also shipping is not included with your bid. Shipping will be different. If you need a shipping quote, you can always go to fedex.com. And the parameters on the box, I can give you those in the description of the video for the actual monitor, and that way you can see about how much it would cost to have the item shipped to you specifically. Payments can only be done through PayPal, and they will be invoiced. So that means I will send you a RetroTech invoice with your bid amount and your total amount on there. And it'll be itemized, and then you can pay the invoice. That way you're protected with some PayPal buyer protection. All right, let's talk about who can bid. Really, anybody can bid as long as there's some way to ship you a monitor. You're willing to cover the shipping costs, and you are willing to follow any of the rules, then you can bid. Now, I want to let you know that there is a benefit to being a Patreon member for the RetroTech Patreon page. If you're a Patreon member, you can bid on any item and there's no surcharge to you. Now, if you're not one of the Patreon members, then there will be a $15 surcharge on top of whatever you're going to bid, or if you win a bid. So for example, if you win a bid on a monitor and let's say it's a $200 bid, then you'll have to pay $200 for your bid, your $15 surcharge, and then the shipping charge. So the way that you can avoid that surcharge is to go in and just join the Patreon, because $15 will get you well over a year's membership to the Patreon club. You can start with just $1 to get into the current auctions. That may change in the future, but for now, all you have to do to avoid that surcharge is be a $1 Patreon member. And you need to go ahead and do that before the end of the auction to get that pricing. Okay, so just so you know that you will have to be a Patreon member to get the non-surcharge on your bid. Now, the bid end date will be listed in the videos, okay? And basically for these two items, the videos will come out pretty close to each other. The end date will be the same for the two items. That way, the day of the final auction, we can have a live show. We'll go through for the last hour and see if anybody wants to make any last minute bids, but also during that final hour or two show, I'll have plenty of other like retro gaming items or tech items that I've picked up that I'll be offering as auctions in the pre-show. So it'll be generally probably at least 10 items. The items will be announced prior to that. It could be like Nintendo, where it's all Nintendo games and maybe a Nintendo console and some other things that are all going to be priced at a low point, lower than you'll be able to get them anywhere else online or anything for sure. And it'll be a great chance to pick up some other things besides just the monitors. And I'm not doing any surcharge on other items besides the monitors. The only thing you're going to get surcharged for would be the monitors if you're not on Patreon, so you can still bid on those other items whether you're a Patreon member or not. Now, if you do win an item, you will be invoiced, and then you have 24 hours from your invoice time to pay for your items, or you risk losing them. And then I'll go through and contact probably the next person who was auctioned or bid, and they will get an opportunity to basically win your bid. So make sure that you either pay the bid or follow up with me if there's some reason you need a couple more hours than the 24 that's allotted. And that's pretty much for the most part, what I've prepared for the auction. Again, the auction will start soon. I'm trying to get these videos for this done within the next day, and then they'll be posted. And then the auction time is going to generally run between 7 and 10 days, somewhere in between there. I'll try to have it in on a weekend, and that way we can plan that live show a little bit better. But this is the first time we're trying this, and it'll kind of gauge how things go from the future. But if you have any questions about how this works, specifically for the auction, please leave them below. If you leave a question about a repair that's not related to this video, then I may delete it. So don't be offended, but just know that the best way to get in touch with me is not going to be through a comment in this video unless you have a specific question about the auctions, and then you can leave it here. I will just take 1 more minute to talk about some other things that you'll be getting if you are a Patreon member. So again, my biggest recommendation is to go in, become a Patreon member, and then do the auction, so you don't have to pay the surcharge, number one. But also, as long as you're a Patreon member, you'll have direct access to me, so if anything ever happens to your monitor, you'll be able to talk to me, and I'll be able to, message you or even talk through the phone on how to work it, tune it, change things if you have any issues. And then also, as long as you're a Patreon member, you'll be able to have coverage for your monitors. Basically, if something goes wrong in the monitor, I won't cover the parts, but if you need something like there's a small repair that needs to be done, or some component needs to be changed, and you wanted to do something like that later on, you could send them back to me and get any repair done free of labor charge. However, you would have to pay for parts and shipping, but there won't be any labor charges for you if you bought a PVM and you stayed consistently on the Patreon page since you bought it. Then that'll be another benefit for you. There's also a direct line of contact. If you don't even buy a model or any PVM from me now, Patreon's, if you become a member of Patreon page, you'll get first of the line advice, repair tips, any advice or help with capacitors, maybe troubleshooting. I can help with those, and that comes first for Patreon members, and that's pretty much the way the line works. And you'll also have a more contact with other people that know more about PVMs, but also if you do win something, it's a direct line of contact. It's a lot easier for me to message back and forth with somebody on Patreon directly than it is to message people directly through anything on YouTube currently. So you'll get that direct line of contact with me. You also help this channel grow immensely and help me do more things like this in the future, because I hope to be able to bring at least 2 monitors, hopefully a month, maybe more, if I can find more. But I've got prepared next for the next couple, 3 or 4 months, where I'll have some set up so we can do 3 or 4 months worth of auctions like this. I also want everybody to know that I won't be selling any high-end monitors. That's only going to be available to Patreon members. So if you wanted something like a 20-inch monitor, I do have 2 20-inch monitors that are in the works of being repaired, and they'll become available soon, but that's only to Patreon members. No one outside of Patreon will have any access to 20-inch monitors from Retrotech at this time. So just take that into consideration. But again, thank you everyone for watching this video, and again, if you have any questions, please leave them below. Look for the other videos to follow up that are coming that will be on each monitor. Make sure you have the bell notification turned on my subscriber page so that you don't miss any of the videos that are coming out, because I'm not really sure when they're going to be ready, but when they're ready, I'm just going to straight up drop them on the page. So thanks again, have a great day, and let's have some fun.